if it's bull or bear, I don't care. It's quite a rough ride, just like life. But I'm kinda patient, 'cause only time will tell. It's gonna go up, so you better stay calm. And grow your coins, you gotta grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins. Grow your coins, you gotta grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins. Grow your coins, you gotta grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins. Grow your coins, you gotta grow your coins.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome. I am the Crypto Crow, and it's 2:16 here in Florida. It's actually not too bad outside, I will say. It could be a little bit better, I guess, but it's pretty. We've had some cold running through here, and I it hasn't been all that great. But anyway, we're going to talk about a few different things. I've got some news, some light TA. I wanted to let everybody know that I am going to be changing the format of my channel a bit. I'm structuring it now, and I'm working on some different things. Basically, I want to start doing things a little differently, in the sense that I want every video to be more scheduled, more I want to use the timestamps. I'm gonna, like, this segment of the show is going to be about maybe a paid segment. Then we're going to go into technical analysis. Then we're going to go into news. Then we're going to go into new projects. And hopefully, let me know in the comments if you think that'll be cool. And then I want to, timestamp them in a comment. So the top comment of every video, you'll have all the links to exactly where in the video you might be most interested. And just try things that way, and then and start getting a little more. I am upgrading my internet. So I am basically installing a second line, and hopefully that's going to help so that I can start going live again as well, which to me is so important. I really don't like doing pre-recorded videos. They're a huge pain in the ass for one, and on slow internet it's just a lot more difficult to upload. Even an hour-long video can take 5 hours to upload. I'm not even kidding, and it bogs down everything. It's just a pain. So I'm working on trying to remedy that so that I can just start going live again. I know it's what you want. It's definitely what I want. So hopefully we'll get to that point soon. I think, I don't think I have my install date until like March though. So it's going to be a little while. So anyway, I'm going to be touching on, first thing we're going to do. This is actually really cool. And it's on a blockchain I don't necessarily care for much, but this is a paid segment, the first segment of the video. This is a paid segment, but it's one that I think everybody should definitely take a look at. It's called Artrade, and it's powered by Solana. Here's the thing. Everybody knows I don't hate Solana. It's just I don't like what I assume to be some of their practices. I don't like the way that it's super centralized. I don't necessarily like the way, about half of its token supply is owned by like VCs and the team. I don't like that stuff. However, when you have that kind of control, let's just say you have the resources to bring on some cool projects. And this, I think, might be one of them. This Artrade, typically when I do a paid segment, I'm like, okay, another one of the same. It's a lot of the same type of stuff, and they're all competing with their marketing dollars to get the most attention. This is something that I actually think is quite unique and something you're going to want to pay attention to. So I wouldn't skip over this. I really wouldn't. Join the NFT revolution with Artrade, the first mobile application powered by Solana. I'm going to read some of the basics of the site, and I'm going to dive into it a little bit. NFT live exclusive feature. Capture your top moments and transform them into NFTs from your smartphone. This is going to be fire, people. You know how big TikTok is, right? Now imagine if you had an application that empowered you to create TikTok videos and not just have these video clips. You know, if you go live on TikTok, you can then go back and take little clips, 15, 30, 60-second clips from those videos, and then make them like regular videos on your TikTok channel. This is basically saying you're going to be able to do that, but you're also going to be able to turn those into NFTs. So some of the crazy moments, the rare moments, emotional moments, whatever it is, you'll basically be able to create NFTs out of those, sell those on the marketplace, and those moments will live on forever on the blockchain. That is sick. I've been waiting for somebody to come out and do something like this. I'm actually kind of surprised to some extent that it's a third party, it's a new company that's coming out with this, rather than just, you know, one of these other companies integrating it into their app. But to each their own, it just gives Artrade an opportunity here. NFT Reel feature. Be the artist you've always wanted to be. Sell your real works directly to your audience online, totally securely, and do away with any intermediaries thanks to NFT technology. Connect Instagram and Twitter because, well, what does everybody do? They connect Twitter and Instagram, and they use those as promotional vehicles for what they're doing, whether it be in NFTs or other apps such as TikTok. Import your notoriety and identify yourself on Artrade via the connection with Instagram and Twitter. This is something that I think is going to blow the hell up, man. User friendly design and every once in a while I get a paid segment that comes in and I'm like, oh shit, this is legit. This is going to be, now I don't, from a speculative standpoint in terms of like tokenomics, token value and things like that, I have no idea what to expect. I haven't used this app yet. But if this app functions at all the way it's laid out, this could be a monster. It could be a monster. User-friendly design for mainstream adoption. Buy, pay in fiat or in crypto at a fixed price or at auction. The NFT market has never been so accessible. Create an NFT in just a few clicks and at no charge from your smartphone or your computer. Share, create your NFT galleries, and share your favorite works with your community intuitively. Oh man, this could be so good. Low fees and ultra fast. Mint your NFTs for less than a centime and in just a few seconds on Artrade, powered by Solana. Artrade is unique. Yes, it is. And this is kind of a chart that breaks down the differences between like other platforms. Low fees, cross-chain, NFT Live, which I think this is going to be this is going to be huge. NFT Reel, community token, social network, Instagram and Twitter sync. Now, I wonder if there was a way that you could integrate that into TikTok. I mean, obviously, and hopefully they don't care that I'm mentioning TikTok so much, but I just see TikTok as being like the big creme de la creme right now of like short video reels and things of that nature. Kind of like, what was the original one? Vine, I think it was. I think Vine became TikTok, if I'm not mistaken. I could be though. I don't, what do I know? I'm just an old dude with a graying beard. Payment in fiat and crypto, mainstream design, integrated wallet, smartphone app, ethical and eco-friendly. Now, here's one question that I have for Artrade. What about people that put content out there that might be controversial? What about content that, now I think these guys are based in another country. I don't know how stuff is regulated or what, where they're from. I'm thinking France. Yeah, French or English. But, you know, with all of the censorship on all of the apps anymore, I mean, it's pretty crazy. I mean, it is truly like lockdown city. I mean, you have to watch your P's and Q's at every turn. You never know what's going to happen to your content, to your channel, to your livelihood. Everything is at stake right now. And it's obvious that a lot of these companies are working together so that, you know, not one is the villain over the other. They're all kind of doing the same thing. So my question is, how will Artrade handle that kind of thing? If somebody puts out an NFT, what if it's wildly popular? What if the sales are through the roof? What if a content creator is doing extremely well for the app, for themselves, so forth and so on? But, you know, it's, you know, I don't know what the word I would use. content unbecoming, I guess. And I don't mean adult. I mean, you know, with perspectives or opinions that vary from, I don't know, the craziest segment of society. And they decide they don't like it and they decide they want it shut down. What do you do about that? You know, I've seen some really wacky stuff canceled for like little to no reason at all. And typically it starts with a spark and ends in a forest fire for really nothing. I mean, it's gotten to the point where everything is so nuts. And this is one thing that I do concern myself with, because ultimately I would love to spend a lot of time putting content out on a platform that I think is going to be widely adopted, but also enables me to speak my mind freely without fear of, you know, somebody that just doesn't agree deciding that they want to try and form some, you know, campaign against the opinion of somebody else because maybe it, I don't know, bends them the wrong way mentally. I don't know. It's truly a clown show. And I would love to see, you know, I personally come from the school of, listen, everybody has an opinion. Some of them stink. And some of them don't, and you don't have to agree, but you know, the best way to deal with an opposing opinion is to talk through it, not try and shut it down, you know. And if you don't have the wherewithal, the sensibilities or the data or the proof or the whatever to combat someone's opinion effectively, maybe you want to check your own, right? Not try and silence everyone else. That's just not the way the world should be working, especially today. So hopefully Artrade can clarify how they intend on acting on that. That to me is the only real big hurdle I can see with this app. I mean, this otherwise looks pretty cool. Management team, technical team, I'm not going to dive deep into all of that. You guys can look at that on your own and decide. But here's Artrade's roadmap. So January of 2022, blockchain XDev tech partnership. Q1 of 2022, which is now development phase. Q2, MVP token listing. So we've got a little time before that starts to pop off. Q3, official public launch. I will be waiting for this and looking for that. You know, maybe we'll do something with these guys on a more regular basis. I would love to. I would love to be more involved in something like this. Q4 2022, key features, NFT real, NFT live. So to me, what some of the biggest key features are of this application aren't going to be coming until the end of the year. And I do think that, but you know, at the same time, that's fine, because if something like this, I actually kind of like the fact that they're not saying, oh, well, month 1, this is coming, month 2, this is coming, and then they spend the whole year making excuses. It sounds like they've given themselves ample time. Q1 2023 world advertising campaign. I know I want to be a part of this app with content ready when they start kicking this thing off. I do know that they talk about Artrade. So you know, check this out. I really think this is going to be a big deal. I think this could be a really, really cool thing. The name, you know, Artrade, I don't know, it could be cool, but it sounds a little pigeonholed. I would like to see something a little more hip, trendy, and universal, but that's just me. NFT live, NFT real. So yeah, I mean, that's basically it outside of the white paper itself. They brand this as an ICO. I don't really know if I would be calling it an ICO. It sounds like this is supposed to be a straight utility token. I don't necessarily know ultimately what the tokenomics are. I haven't dove into that. We could take a quick look. It's just we're already 13 minutes in, and this segment's already a little longer than planned. Okay, this is a 39 page. Let me see here. Read through this. I haven't read through all this. I've taken a gander at some of the other stuff, but this just looks cool. Front end blockchain, back end API, yada yada, a lot of similar stuff. The economic model, budget and strategy. There's some information there. You can read that above my head. Financing the project, fees, discount, and staking. If a user imports an NFT and displays it on his profile, he receives interest in ATR. The amount of the interest is relative to the value of the NFT, with the calculation expressed as a percentage. Holding, proactive rewards, governance. ATR is a governance token which involves the community in decisions about certain features of the project. Holders that can thus take part in certain decisions related to the project, proportional to the number of tokens they own. Details of the ICE. Okay, so token's name is ATR, 9 decimals, BEP20, Binance Smart Chain. Okay, that's okay. 900 million tokens distributed, or 50% of the total supply. Gradual prices in 3 rounds: 2 cents, 3 cents, 4 cents. Soft cap of 1 million. Oh, okay. Total issuance 1.8 billion ATR tokens shall be issued. That's a lot of tokens, but if the app is big, I mean, it could be okay. Payment method: Ethereum, BNB, USD Tether, BUSD, or fiat bank transfer. Okay. And then here's the process of the ICO protocol. Max ticket 500,000. I mean, yeah, I mean, check out the white paper. I might actually, I'm going to save this because I want to read through this later. This just looks like a kick-ass app. I mean, I want to see something like this do really well, as long as they're not censoring the hell out of everybody. I mean, that's one of the beauties of the blockchain, but I don't know, you know, also with this being on Solana, I mean, I think they have, don't they have some ways of kind of censoring things if necessary, which, okay, but what's the policy on that? I would be willing to bet it. There's nothing in that white paper. I'm going to look. But yeah, check it out. It's Artrade.app, and check it out. Watch the little promo videos, do some digging, find out if you're a content creator, this could be like a big win. I definitely plan on keeping tabs on this. I'm going to be bookmarking this and checking it. I've already followed the Twitter page, and I'm in the Telegram. So, and if I happen to message you in Telegram asking you to do anything at all, it's not me. I don't give a shit about what you do. I don't want anything from you. But yeah, I have a lot of impersonators all over the place, and they love to ask for shit. It's not me. So anyway, that's our trade. So disclaimers down below and all that fun stuff. But I legitimately do like this project, where it's going, and I'm going to be diving more into it in the future. Now, technical analysis for what it is. This is the great state of indecision. I mean, this is, you know, where are we from here? I mean, this is hair pulling, and I see so many people, and they say, oh, we're going back up, we're going back up, we're going back up. I'm not really sold on that. I mean, even just the price action right here looks very similar to this before we drop down further. But I mean, this looks similar just in shape, but it's not. And this is irrelevant, but this is the distribution, a Wyckoff distribution phase heading into an accumulation phase. And I'm diving a lot deeper into the Wyckoff system. And I'm going to start implementing the Wyckoff, some Elliott wave, and some other key metrics in a technical analysis segment of every video moving forward. Not this one, because I'm not 100% ready for that yet. And honestly, at this point, Bitcoin's price, the crypto market's price, is so undecided. I mean, anything could happen from here. I am assuming, I'm going to assume that the price is going to continue moving further down. Honestly, until we hit that 200 weekly moving average, which is probably going to end up being somewhere around 23 to 25,000 is my guess, because that moving average is going to rise up as the price comes down and things just continue to move forward. But I'm sadly, folks, I just don't see the price bouncing very high right now. I think we're going to come off of that 25. So we've got another 50% drop that may be coming. You know, we'll see. I know people hate it because they think I'm trying to FUD the market, or I don't know. I've seen so many wild conspiracies. People, I don't give a shit. Honestly, I'm out. I'm more about the tech at this point, and I'm trying to focus more on what's happening in the world, because to me, that's a hell of a lot more important than the price action of a crypto asset. Regulation is a big thing for me. How regulation is going to start really changing the paradigm of crypto, as it were. I know stable coins are going to start getting really hit. I just think there's a lot of uncertainty in the market across the board. I mean, we might be in some big wars coming up soon, which scares the hell out of me. There's so much other stuff that I feel is more relevant than the daily price of crypto. or what app is out there, or what like a lot of this stuff. It's all great, but there's too much stuff happening in the world, and I'm more concerned with that and being prepared for that and keeping my family safe. So I don't even feel comfortable talking about a lot of that stuff. But all the nonsense that I've seen, Crow's just trying to push the market down so we can buy in cheaper. Listen, I don't have to do that. If the market is going down, it's going down with or without me. Anybody that thinks otherwise is silly. But if we look at some of the price action, some of the better gainers rally up 45% over the last 7 days. Theta Network, while it looks great, up almost 14% over the last week, it's still sitting at $3.91. Nothing. I mean, Celsius Network, it's at $3.50. Nothing has really taken off, nor has anything really fallen. And a big part of why I think this is, Neo sitting at $24. Neo is $100-something in the last bull market. I don't think it's ever really broken much further above this. Theta Fuel sitting at 22 cents. That all looks good. We see this green, but the reality is it keeps bouncing off of its ability to reach new heights. We haven't seen any of that in this crypto market. Why do I think that is? Quite frankly, I really believe, and this is going to be something else that a lot of you guys just don't want to hear. But I really believe that when, at first glance, when I saw like Biden talk about, we need to regulate crypto in the name of national security and this and that, I'm like, oh, another blowhard bullshit thing, right? That's what I thought. I think I'm wrong about that. I think to some degree there is probably some sense of a national security threat or issue because, when we had ICOs, ICO tokens could be pumped and dumped ad nauseum, right? It was as simple as just throwing some Ethereum to a smart contract. You get a bunch of tokens back. Those tokens get pumped in volume, and then everybody sells, rinses, and repeats. That's how it was back in the early days of crypto back in 2017. Money laundering is a real thing, okay? I do believe that NFTs primarily are being used for laundering money in a big, big way. And it's such an easier vehicle to deal with one NFT or a handful of NFTs that the price can be driven up to, millions of dollars for one little thing, rather than having to worry about the liquidity, the regulation, all of the exchanges, all of the security, all of that stuff with thousands or millions of tokens. That's just the sense I'm making of it. You can hate me all you want. I'm not saying NFTs aren't a big deal. I think NFTs ultimately are going to take over a lot. I think NFTs overall are going to be what makes up a lot of the future metaverses, the virtual realms, all of that stuff. I think everything is going to be NFT related. But NFTs right now have been giving a lot of people a bad taste in their mouth because they see the hustle. They see the scam, the games. How many of these NFT projects have just straight rug pulled on everybody? There have been a large number of these NFT projects because it's just become kind of a thing to do. We'll see what happens. But when I look at a lot of these tokens, I think a lot of these tokens have been left to increase or decrease in value based off of the merit of the technology they're building and nothing more. I believe that the speculative market for a lot of these crypto assets, especially considering there's 17,500 of them now, the money is being spread too thin, and there's not enough money coming into the space to pump these up alongside like maybe the top 5 or the top 10, when the majority of that money is funneling through NFTs that's being used for a whole variety of reasons. Okay, that's the sense I make of it, because with the market falling in price against the on-chain metrics of whether any blockchain, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, everything has just been skyrocketing on chain, but it's not showing that growth in speculative value of the coins or the tokens associated with those layer 1 blockchains. I think that ultimately this is the time for NFTs. I think the metaverse is so new. I just started listening. I got the hardback book and the other in the audio book for Ready Player 2. I feel like I'm listening to the future unfold before my very eyes. Elon Musk is basically building everything right now that is making up Ready Player 2. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go grab the book, go get the audio book on Audible. Because I'm listening to this and I'm like, yes, this is exactly where we're going. And then I got this wild idea for how, at some point it may very well be likely that we just never die. We never die. Because as we grow into these realms where, our brains are, we're plugging these chips into our brains, these derma, whatever the hell you call them, these derma chips, and our emotions, our memories, our thoughts, everything is recorded. Why can't we just transplant that to a new body at some point? Or even if we don't want to do that, maybe we get to a point where we're really old and cognitively we're running, short. Maybe it's easier to keep a brain alive than it is an entire body. And we just live in a brain forever in a little box in a little room somewhere where we're piped into some metaverse. And maybe we take on, more senior roles as we age and gain wisdom and experience. I mean, I'm telling you, I had this idea, and as I'm listening to some of this stuff, and I'm like, so it's very potential that the world as we know it could ultimately be driven by AI, artificial intelligence, robots, basically kind of like in the Matrix where you got these drones that are all flying around, pulling people out of pods and things. Because ultimately it'll be our consciousness that ultimately runs the world around us, and it's all virtual. So we don't even need to interact one-on-one as people anymore, shaking hands in real time. Because why would anybody live a boring, dull life, living the same grind day in and day out, when they could literally live the lives of anybody at any moment, at any time, anywhere, and it'd be far more exciting. And it ultimately feel as though you're there. And at what point does reality or the separation from reality to virtual reality, how thin is that line? And when do we forget what reality actually is anymore? I don't know. There's just so much to that. But what I think that NFTs are going to play a significant role in that. And I believe that content created by the creative thought process of whatever we are at the time within these virtual realms, it's going to be a big part of what helps the world go round. So we'll have to see, but I don't know. I totally just kind of rambled and thought for a while, but let's get on to some news. Crow node live stake is down 21.1 million. Active stake is 23 million. ROS 4.6%, which isn't bad. I mean, my node does do pretty well, and it does very well even against other nodes with significantly higher pledges. I mean, I've seen nodes with like 1 million ADA pledges, and they're not doing anything. They're not minting the number of blocks we are. They're not doing anything. Lifetime stake is 4.5 billion ADA tokens. But if we look at the metrics here, we've fallen a little bit. Just overall, 36.4 billion total supply, with 25.66 billion actually actively staked to a node of some kind. So we're down about a point and a half in terms of how much ADA is being delegated to nodes right now at 70.5%. Number of active pools, 2,964. And I used to have a spillover node because at one point the Crow node had gotten so large that we were like we're turning brown. Like it was like you're so oversaturated. And a part of me thought, well, a lot of the people that are staking to my node know that like they can trust me. I'm not gonna like rug pull. I'm not gonna just wipe the slate or whatever and not tell anybody or whatever. And people get it. Like, and a lot of them are in Cardano because of me. So they're like, okay, we're going to stake to Crow's node. Great. I love that. Appreciate that. But at one point I did create a secondary node, which was Crow 2. And I got a lot of shit for it. And I'm like, why? Why does anybody care? And I got a lot of shit from a lot of people on Twitter because they would basically come after me like I was a multi-noder or a multi whatever. Basically, I had more than one node, which because of my popularity on YouTube and the work that I've done in Cardano and educating people, apparently I didn't deserve to have a second node because it was taking away from others with lesser known nodes. And I started thinking to myself, at first I thought, what does it matter? People are gonna there are thousands of nodes. Like, what does me having a spillover node really affect people? But then I started seeing some of these other guys, man, they've got 10, 12 nodes. They're pumping them all the time. And I'm like, okay, I get it, because these guys are just milking and milking and milking at the expense of a lot of these other guys who have the same passion and the same drive and the same, like, they love Cardano. They want to support the network, and they're trying to turn it into a passive income stream. And, you know, and then you've got these YouTubers who are basically, you know, they're building up entire networks of nodes that are just, you know, I get it. And so, and I closed the other node, and I'm like, you know, there's no point in having two. This one's coming down a bit. This one's coming down a bit. There's no reason to have a spillover node anymore. I just really wasn't sure at the time what the best way of doing it was. But yeah, I get it, man. I mean, it's like, you know, share the wealth. But everything is going pretty well. Google adds Cardano to its integrated currency conversion rate system. This is February 14th, so that's pretty cool. Cardano has achieved major recognition of its market value. Google has just added ADA to its currency conversion rate calculator. Users of the search tool can now convert ADA to various fiat currencies, including USD, GBP, Euro, and many others. Yay. Does that make us official now? Is Cardano legit? I've always thought so. Cardano to dominate the market as a leading layer 1 blockchain, onboarding the next billion users in crypto, says a Kraken report. This is interesting. Key takeaways: Kraken Intelligence latest report bills Cardano to emerge as one of the best layer 1 blockchains. Duh. The verdict is based on Cardano's value-driven approach to development. Massive network growth and plans around scalability will also play a key role for Cardano's dominance. I'm glad to see that some people are finally catching on. Where have you guys been for all these years? Cardano on the Cardano blockchain. Development on the Cardano blockchain has a lot of exciting prospects lined up for 2022. Some of these are highlighted in a new report published by the analysts at Kraken, a cryptocurrency exchange, and a pretty good one from what I've gathered. Where's the stuff? I thought I had some stuff highlighted. Maybe that's another one. Looking forward to the Cardano blockchain. As outlined in Cardano's roadmap, this year has a lineup of developments, activities, and upgrades that will bring scalability to Cardano as part of its Basho era. Among these are Hydra, which I cannot wait for, a layer 2 scaling solution that will make micropayments possible. There is also Milkomeda, which will make Cardano cross-chain compatible with EVM blockchains, and the rollout of supporting infrastructure for developers. All these make Kraken surmise that, if all goes well, 2022 could prove to be an exciting year for Cardano, and I completely agree. There's a lot of stuff going on with Cardano. There always has been. Just where have you been? Those of you that are out there. And I know some of you are like, but Crow, you sold your Cardano. Yeah, I sold my Cardano like 42 cents ago. Okay. I'm not hurting. I'm not worried about it right now. Doesn't mean I don't believe in the tech or where it's going or anything, but if the market's coming down, the market's coming down. Cardano could come out and say, we just cured cancer tomorrow. And it doesn't mean it's going to drive up its market value by $5 trillion overnight. It's okay. But I am going to discuss some things in just a minute. SundaySwap, the leading decentralized exchange on the Cardano blockchain, has surpassed 100 million ADA, roughly $100 million in total trading volume, according to a recent tweet. So that's cool. That's growing. This Bitcoin fractal from 2018 could trap bulls, sink Bitcoin price to 25,000. We're going to see so much of this stuff. I feel like we're seeing like some of these big players like JP Morgan and these other groups, they're putting out these reports talking about how Bitcoin could be $280,000 by the end of the year. And then we see more realistic stuff like this saying we could drop to 25 grand. Yeah, we could drop to 25 grand because like I said, and like I have been saying for a while now, it's very likely that we're going to, at some point, when we bottom, we're going to bottom when Bitcoin hits that 200 weekly average. Or moving average on a weekly. And once we hit that, then that's probably going to be the bottom, and we're going to move up from there. If that happens before Bitcoin hits, $50,000-$60,000, then likely that'll be the bottom, and I'll buy back in. And that's really all there is to it. But yeah, that's just how it is. U.S. representative introduces draft bill to regulate stable coins. I mean, this is this is going to get ugly at some point. Today, U.S. Representative Josh Gottimer unveiled an early draft of a bill regulating U.S. dollar-backed stablecoins. The proposed legislation would designate certain stablecoins as qualified and institute traditional deposit insurance on stablecoin holdings. Qualified stablecoins will only be issued by banks or non-bank institutions that satisfy certain regulations. Now, this is just a proposed bill. It's not saying it's going to happen, and obviously it'll get rewritten and there'll be a lot of stuff going on with it. But I do think that stablecoins are going to be the first to get really hit. Especially if we're ever going to launch a CBDC token like they have in China, and start utilizing a similar system, the stable coins are going to be the first to get kicked in the tail. This is for all you hackers out there. Stay away from us YouTubers, but hack something that'll actually get you some money, because most of us we don't have much right now. Cardano temporarily doubles bug bounty rewards to boost network security. According to an update on HackerOne, bug bounty rewards have been doubled for a total of 6 weeks ending March 25th, 2022, with the largest potential bounty being 20 grand for critical vulnerabilities affecting Cardano nodes. Other vulnerabilities affecting nodes may grant white hat hackers rewards between $10,000 and $800. On the other hand, vulnerabilities affecting Cardano wallets can offer rewards ranging from $500 to $15,000 for exploits deemed critical. Calling all hackers, it's time to boost your hacktivity. We are excited to announce that bounty amounts will be doubled starting today until March 25th. And there you go. Now, I'm going to go into one more thing, just kind of a note in terms of like my kind of philosophy on crypto right now and where I'm at in my head. And then I've got another paid segment for these guys. I guess I'll leave these guys in the background while I'm talking here. But ultimately, here's what I'm waiting for. I dumped a majority of my crypto, much higher than it is right now. And I'm watching and I'm waiting and I'm learning and I'm continuing to do my thing. In the midst of this whole, where are we? This uncertainty, regulation, the market cycles. Are we going to have we have yet to even really see one significant peak into the red of a logarithmic chart, right? So, but we did have two peaks. They just didn't peak out as high as any of us were hoping. And the prices continued falling. And a lot of people are worried. A lot of people are really concerned. Should I hold? Should I wait? What should I do? And I get it. I get it. I was struggling so hard. I got to the point where I was talking to my wife about it probably every hour. I was super stressed out. I couldn't sleep. I was just trying to gather as much information as possible until finally I said, listen, I can't afford to keep watching my assets drop in value. I have to live. And there's a lot of stuff happening in the world right now. And I want to be prepared for that. And, and I always say, my situation is different than yours. If you're working another job, or if you're a fireman, or you're you own a business and it's doing well, and, crypto is just kind of a part-time hobby interest of yours, you can likely afford to hold until, a next market cycle or a next market peak. I might not, there's no guarantees or certainty in anything that I do. And so it's a much more scary world for someone like me. And I have to make decisions. And so, what I decide to do for myself may very well be drastically different from you. I've held pretty much all my stuff at least a year or more, outside of like maybe new Ethereum or whatever for a paid segment here or there. But outside of that, I mean, it's just a tricky thing. And so right now I'm looking for Bitcoin to start really shoot up. Like I want to see Bitcoin over 50 grand again before I really consider getting back in. And even then it could be a fake out. And so, I'm watching and waiting, and, I'm okay buying in at a $60,000 Bitcoin, even though I sold it at 46, if it's confirmation that the market is going to continue up for another run. And I think one of the biggest issues that we all have in crypto, especially if we've sat here through multiple cycles, is greed. At what point does sense overcome greed? At what point does the idea that you can turn, 2 cents into $2, you miss out. Maybe you miss out on that. Maybe you got Cardano at 2 cents and you didn't sell it at $3. And you're like, oh my gosh, it's over. It's over. It's not over. There's plenty of time. There's plenty of opportunity for growth in the future. What do you need now? Where is your life now? How will cashing out X amount put you in a better place, a happier place? That's the question. Moving to Puerto Rico was a big lesson for me because financially it did absolutely nothing good for me. Like truly nothing good. I mean, we left everything. All the company, everything that we filed, I mean, all the expenses, all of that. It was all a loss. I mean, it was like, for what? We didn't stay. I didn't trust a lot of there's just a lot of stuff. I was like, it's not worth it. But the one thing that we ended up asking ourselves is it worth staying here with your power going out every 2 seconds, and just everything associated with there's a lot of great things about Puerto Rico, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of really great things. It's beautiful. The people are freaking awesome, like fun and like open-minded and just cool. Everybody's chill and does their own thing. But there's so much stuff that we just couldn't wrap our head around. And at what point does saving a little money say it's worth just being miserable? Like, there's no point in having money if you're miserable having it. So, I'm learning a lot about life in this position that I'm at right now. And I try to spare myself drama. I try to spare myself stresses. I'm not a greedy person. I've never been a greedy person. In fact, I would think anybody that knows me would say I'm a quite generous person. But I try to be very responsible, and I try to be very considerate, and I try to understand where I'm going. I like to protect what I have. I like to earn more. I like new projects. I just like to learn, right? And a part of me thought, well, if there are a lot of reasons why I got out of the positions I was in, and so far they've been great decisions. Is it too late now? I don't know. The bottom of Cardano was 2 cents at the bottom of the last market, but a lot's happened since then. If Bitcoin drops down another 50%, you could probably expect Cardano to follow. Same with Ethereum. The question is when will that happen? Are we going to have another big substantial peak throughout the rest of this year? That's what nobody knows. That's why everything is pretty much stagnant and kind of ping-ponging between dollar amounts. Nobody knows. But, I'm okay. I'm like, what? I would rather protect what I have, get a market confirmation later at a much higher price point that we are going to continue moving up for a while than to buy in again right now just to watch the market fall another 5 or 6% every day for a week or a month, whatever. I'm okay. So, while I get a lot of people, they ask me like, what do I do, Crow? Do I sell? I'm like, I can't tell you what to do. You already know what I've done, but I did it at a different time. People are like, well, why did you sell and you didn't tell anybody? Because if I was wrong, I didn't want people to follow me down the hole. That's really all I don't want people to follow what I fucking do. I tell you guys that all the time. I can afford to take risks with my own shit. I don't want to take risks with your shit. It's that simple. My very risky decision turned out to work out just fine for me. Great. I could have went the other way and I could have been wrong and I've been crying all the time. Oh God, I fucked up and I can't believe you guys followed me. And then everybody be mad at me because I told everybody what I did. You can't win either way. So I stopped giving a shit about that. People are going to hate on you, not like whatever. People have their own issues. You shouldn't be following us YouTubers every step of the way anyway. You got to do what's right for yourself. But I'm just waiting. There's too much indecision. I can't look at anything going on right now and think, okay, we're going in this direction. This is where we're at. There's no sense to be made of a lot of what's happening. So that's it. I mean, I'm just waiting for an opportunity to feel confident about a direction one way or the other before I make any other significant moves. And in the meantime, I'm just learning. I'm continuing to learn. I'm continuing on my projects, continuing to work. We're working on Zemplify. We're the marketplace we launched, and waiting for Cardano to increase its scalability and its blockchain speeds, which has made it pretty difficult for us with Zemplify, because as soon as we launched it, so did Sunday Swap, and it just sent everything into the shitter temporarily. But it's recovering and it's getting better, and blockchain sizes have already improved and gotten a little bit bigger, and we're just waiting for more. There's so much that's going to happen over the 2022 year and beyond for Cardano and a lot of these other layer 1 blockchains. And I think it really boils down to not being greedy and just being patient and waiting things out and doing what you need to do for yourself to live a better life. Because that really, in the end of it all, that's what this is all about. Being a part of something at the early stages of development, introduction, adoption, and basically riding that train to improve our own lives and make our lives better, more enjoyable, more fun. That's it. I don't know what else to say other than that. I mean, that's where my head is. I feel like that's where everybody's head should be. So here we go. This is on the final page segment for this video. This is the Winkyverse. I've talked about this in the past, and they've got a lot of notes and a lot of things associated with this. The first educational metaverse. It provides families from all over the world a space where they can learn, create, play, and connect together. Now, this is also there's a robot. There's a little robot associated with this, and some of the players involved in this are pretty big time. This isn't just a few dudes in a garage trying to launch some cash grab. I mean, these are people associated with the Sandbox and other things. So this is actually pretty cool. But I know one thing that they wanted me to look at initially is their tokenomics. So this is the tokenomics for the project fund allocation. They're looking to have 5% in reserves, 5% in security and legal, which is fair. Hardware and R&D only 10%, which for something that has kind of an actual physical product, that surprises me. 10%, but I mean, Winkyverse development 15%, marketing and branding 20%. Users acquisition 20%, which that's almost like a 40% marketing budget ultimately. Third party games and editors 25%, and then you've got the distribution 32% in crowd sales, PR and marketing 14%, private sales of 10%, team is over here 10%. I mean, that's fair. 10%, that's not a cash grab. Advisors at 4%, game editors and partnerships, airdrops and bounty at 4%, reserves 9%, liquidity 5%, and Winky Foundation of 2%. Airdrops and bounty. Over the next 5 years, we plan to airdrop a few NFTs and the Winky's tokens every month to incentivize people to spread the word about the Winkyverse and the Winkies. We consider it to be one of the most efficient ways to grow our community. Starting on listing day, provided that we reach our hard cap, we are planning to invest 500,000 euros a month in PR, marketing, and advertising in order to maximize the Winky's tokens value. Besides, we will also offer the Winky's tokens vested to influencers and KOL from all over the world to get widespread media coverage. Game editors and partnerships. The Winky's tokens vested will also be used to reward game developers who create content for the Winkyverse. As we get more content and games available, the number of users of the Winkyverse will grow, along with the demand for the Winky tokens. That's pretty cool. Max supply of tokens, 7.5 billion tokens. 7.5 billion with a B. Quantity of the Winkies for sale, 2.4 billion. So a little less than half that. Soft cap, 1.6 million euros. Already reached during private sale. So they've already accomplished that. Hard cap of 20 million euro. Is that euro or is that pound? Am I completely ridiculous? What am I saying here? Currencies accepted, a lot of the norm. Vesting in Cliff. There you go. Crow tokens crowd sale launch. Round 1, 2, and 3. So the price starts at 0.006, goes up to 0.008, and then ultimately round 3 is at 0.1, so one penny a piece. Interesting. So you kind of have a built-in thing for getting in early. But see, the thing of it is that a lot of that is really going to be dependent on the success of this overall. The more people that are, I think this is really cool. I wouldn't mind picking something like this up for my daughter and letting her play around with it, see what kind of games are coming out for it. I think she would have a lot of fun with this personally. Accessories, creators. I mean, it's just showing a lot of the randomness. Okay, so this started in 2016, incorporation of Mainbot in France. We are all the way down here. Centralized exchange listings are happening about now. Q2, the Winkyverse closed alpha, Winky Play closed alpha, Winky Maker private beta, private release of the Winky robot accessories design software. Q3 2022, private beta, open world private launch. So I mean, we're getting to a point now where after several years, we're getting to a point where they're going to start kicking this thing off, which explains why they wanted to do this video segment. Public beta in the Q4 of 2022, open world public beta launch, Winky Maker public launch. That's cool. I mean, 2022 is overall going to be such a big year for a lot of stuff in the space. I really do think so. 51-minute video. This is a long one. Hopefully it doesn't take 18 hours to upload. And hopefully you like this. I want one of these robots, though. I mean, these are just stinking cool. I think I looked these up, and if I'm not mistaken, you can find them on Amazon. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I looked it up already. The Wink token has been listed on PancakeSwap, Uniswap, and MEXC since last month with over 18,000 holders. Let's take a look and see. Let's look at the Winky. Winkyverse. All right, currently trading at 0.01335. Where did it peak out over here? Where did it peak out? All right, so it hasn't dropped that much, but it looks like a lot because it's relative. What markets? Uniswap, PancakeSwap, MEXC. Okay, so the typical highest volume is on PancakeSwap version 2, USDC into Winky with $1.5 million in trade volume. So there's your liquidity right there. PancakeSwap for those of you that are trying to get you some. Most funded ICO in France in the last 3 years with over 20 million euros collected. The third round of the ICO sold out for 10 million in 24 hours last November. So these guys are well funded. I mean, they're doing pretty daggone well. And luckily, they're sharing a little bit with us YouTubers to get the word out and to get this thing going. They just launched one of the most generous staking programs available on the market with respectively 60%, 72%, and 84% APR for 6 months, 9 months, and 12 months lockup. That's pretty cool. Twice a week, there will also be challenges and giveaways available to anyone following their Discord, Telegram, and Twitter with a $100,000 prize pool to share every month. I mean, these guys are definitely working on building some popularity and some hype around this project. So that's pretty cool. All right. I mean, check it out. I mean, check out everything. If you're into this, if you've got kids, you think they'd benefit from a robot like this. I want to see Buy Winkies, Earn Winkies dashboard. I wanted to see if there's no like direct link to pick up the robot. My wife always gives me a hard time. She says I say robot instead of robot, so I try not to. But there's no link to a marketplace to pick this thing up, which stinks. The Winky Bots NFT. Let's take a look at this real quick before we cut out for the day and I start my grueling process of uploading this. I can't wait to go live again. I really can't. Hopefully sooner than later. Welcome aboard. 12,111 Winky Bots are about to land on Earth. They all come from different planets of the solar system. Oh my gosh. These are actually super cute. The older brother Winky robot already landed on Earth 5 years ago to teach humans about new technologies. The Winky bots are now about to join him for new adventures. All Winky bots are unique. 12,000 have been algorithmically generated by a supercomputer from 10 traits: body, eyes, background, vehicle, and a total of 236 attributes. The remaining 111 will be designed by renowned digital artists from all over the world. That's really stinking cool. All NFT owners will share 5% commission on OpenSea secondary sales. That's pretty brilliant. I mean, these guys are thinking of everything. So there you go. I mean, check it out. So yeah, I want to thank Winkyverse, winkybots.io. So this is going to be cool. Mint, you got the roadmap. Check all this stuff out if you're into it. Make sure you follow on Twitter, get into their Discord. And I want to thank Artrade for their support for this video. And listen, folks, like I said, there's a lot of stuff happening in the market right now. I had some other stuff that I wanted to show as far as TA, but whatever reason, TradingView has been loading slowly for me, and it probably will until I get my internet upgraded. So always fun times. And but listen, thanks for joining me. I do definitely plan to be back soon. I've got an interview that I'm scheduling pretty soon. I think we're gonna do the interview tomorrow, and then I'm gonna publish the interview maybe tomorrow evening or the day after, but by Friday that should probably go live, and we'll see. And until next time, guys, thanks for joining me. Crow your coins. I'll see you again real soon.